castor oil penetrates very deep, and it penetrates deeper than any other oil. So it can be used externally. And what it does, wherever castor oil penetrates, it breaks up lumps, bumps, congestions, adhesions. It can even break up a bone spur.
This is Barbara O'Neill, a famous health expert known worldwide. She strongly supports holistic and natural health, with many testimonials backing her methods. In today's lecture, we'll explore the remarkable benefits of castor oil for your health. Used since ancient times for its healing properties, castor oil offers simple, natural solutions for various health issues. Stay tuned to discover how this versatile oil can enhance your wellness routine.
Now, we have had a few people come to our retreat that have had bone spurs. Do you ever wonder where the bone spur comes from? Say there's a bone spur on the wrist. You go to the doctor, he'll say, and you'll say, what is that? He'll say, it's a bone spur. And then you'll say, but why is it on my bone and not in my bone? Because it's a calcium deposit, and he'll acknowledge that. And often the answer is, we don't know. But I'm about to show you why that calcium deposit goes on the bone and not in the bone. Let's say we meet someone who's breaking every law. They're breathing in bad air, they never go in the sunshine, they're living on the stimulants, which are all acid, they go to bed too late, they never exercise, don't have time, they're on the high-carb diet. Remember that diet we had there the other day? All acid-forming foods. They don't drink water because they don't like the taste. I've never had a cow not like the taste. Never had a horse not like the taste. Why would humans not like the taste? Because they've tasted sweet other things. Isn't that true? In fact, Joshua was saying, I think, introduce your children to vegetables and they'll eat vegetables. But if you introduce them to cakes and pastries and cookies, they're not going to eat their vegetables. It's exactly the same with water. Stress, worry, anxiety. Now this creates a very acid environment in the body. And the body's quickly trying to deal with that. And the blood pH is getting a little acid. It's going up to, what's going down, 7.35, 34, 33, we're dropping. And remember, down to 7.22 is death. So very quickly, the last resort buffer system is called on. Calcium, the most alkaline minerals pulled out of the bones in a form of calcium phosphate, comes into the blood, immediately helps to bring the balance back. 7.34, 35, we're safe. But now at a cost. We now have free calcium excess floating through the bloodstream. What's the body going to do with that? It'll dump it on the bones as a spur. It'll dump it in the kidneys, kidney stones, gallbladder, gallstones, even maybe a little bit of a build-up on the eyes. What's that called? Your cataracts. They're all illustrations of Newton's third law of motion. To every action, there's an equal and an opposite reaction. I read this statement in an old book that I'm about to quote to you, and I've put it in my book. This law never ceases to act as nature's equalizer, setting in motion compensatory forces to remedy every imbalance. Isn't that the true cause of disease? You now know, though, how to get rid of a bone spur, is that right? Castor oil. The good news is castor oil will never break down your bone, because remember Psalm 104 verse 14, that God gave herbs for the service of man. The castor oil comes in and says, where would you like me? What would you like me to do? Oh, the unnatural formations, that's what it'll break up, the bone spurs. So I say, well, fibroids and cysts and tumours, they're easy compared to the bone spur, and yet the castor oil can break up a bone spur.
What makes castor oil work well against these issues? It has ricinoleic acid, which helps reduce inflammation and pain. When you put it on your skin, it can go deep and assist in breaking down unusual growths and hard areas. This natural treatment has been used for many years, and many people have found it useful for dealing with bone spurs, fibroids, cysts, and tumours. To treat a bone spur with castor oil, soak a cloth in the oil and place it on the sore spot. Wrap it in plastic and use a heating pad to help it soak in better. Keep it on for about an hour each day. This method may help dissolve calcium deposits and ease pain over time. It's also important to tackle the root causes. Eating more alkaline foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains can help balance your pH. Regular exercise boosts blood flow and lowers the chance of calcification. Managing stress through meditation, yoga, and good sleep is also key for overall health and preventing acid buildup.
In every case, there can be slight differences. So I'd like to also tell you about Eileen. Eileen came to us with breast cancer. She was late 50s. She chose to do the natural way. Some people say, I chose to do the natural way and it didn't work. I say, which way did you choose? Because there are many healing arts. With breast cancer, it was absolutely essential that she balance the hormones. You cannot get cancer in the ovaries, the uterus, the breasts, if the hormones are balanced. So with all cases of reproductive cancer, must balance the hormones. So she went on the Anna's Wild Yam Cream to balance that. She implemented all of this. She's the wife of an Adventist pastor in Australia. She would ring me every few weeks, Barbara, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? She also began to put castor oil compresses on the breast. Castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil, and wherever it penetrates, it can break up lumps, bumps, adhesions. It'll even break up a bone spur, but it'll never break up your bone. How does it do that? Well, that's one question we'll ask God in those heavenly courts, is that right? All I can tell you is that Psalm 104 verse 14 states that God gave herbs for the service of man. So when the herbs come in, they work with you. They know that that's an unnatural formation and they'll break it down. So little by little by little, the castor oil will break it down. This is not overnight. This is not after a week. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And also with breast cancer, it's important to make sure what's touching the breast is natural fibre. I challenge you ladies, try and find a bra made out of natural fibre. And the underwire bras are dangerous because breast tissue is lymphatic tissue and it cleans into the nodes under the arm. And there's a very effective gate there that stops that cleaning process. Can you see how there can be many factors coming in? That's why every case is different. Every case, the detective hat has to be put on. Look at the history, look at the emotions, look at the house they lived in.
Castor oil has been increasingly recognized for its potential in managing various health conditions, including breast cancer. Its high concentration of ricinoleic acid, a compound with known anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties, makes it particularly noteworthy. When used as a topical compress, castor oil is capable of deeply penetrating the skin and underlying tissues. This deep penetration may help in breaking down and dispersing abnormal growths such as cysts, nodules, and potentially even cancerous tumors. Some research, including a 2011 study published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences, has explored the anti-cancer potential of ricinoleic acid. The study found that ricinoleic acid could induce apoptosis or programmed cell death in human breast cancer cells, suggesting a possible mechanism by which castor oil might exert its anti-cancer effects. In addition to these properties, castor oil is also known to enhance lymphatic circulation, which is essential in the treatment of breast cancer. The breast tissue contains a significant amount of lymphatic tissue that is responsible for filtering out toxins and waste products from the body. However, lymphatic drainage can become impaired, particularly due to pressure from tight clothing such as underwire bras, which may hinder the body's natural detoxification processes. By promoting better lymphatic flow, castor oil compresses can assist in the removal of toxins and metabolic waste from the breast area, potentially reducing the risk of cellular damage and contributing to overall breast health.
It can break up tumours. I have known women have told me this, that's broken up lumps in the breast, and those lumps may be cysts or even breast cancer. Now, we had a doctor do our program, and she'd rung me up and she said to me, Barbara, can you help me? I've got a lump in my breast. It's 3 centimetres. I said, it's important that you go on the hormone balancing cream, buy some of those little panty liners, put castor oil on it, and just slip it into your bra over the lump. A month later, she had the operation to take it out. Then she came to our health retreat for a week to just detox. She said, an amazing thing happened, Barbara. That lump was 3 centimetres. I put the castor oil on for 1 month. I had the op, and the doctor said, you know, this is really strange. That lump was 3 centimetres. Now it's only 2. One of the guests said, well, why did you have the op? Why didn't you just do castor oil? She said, well, I didn't know till after the op. One lady told me that she totally conquered her breast cancer by just using the castor oil compresses. Remember, castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil. Now, to use castor oil, you make a little pack. Now, this is not really a poultice, it's more a compress. So you'll notice I've got an old tea towel here, so you can use an old towel or something like that, and I'm going to put the castor oil on. Castor oil is very thick, and it takes a little while to soak in. So all I do is do about a middle third of the whole area. So I don't really want to hold it up because it's going to run. So can you see how much I've put on? But by the end of the meeting, that will have all soaked in. So I say to people, when you're using castor oil, pour it in and don't touch it for about half an hour, and that will soak in. Now, that's a really good area to put on the abdomen. Now, if castor oil is applied to the abdomen, it will heal any problems in the abdomen. So what have we got in abdomen? For a woman, there's the uterus. So that will penetrate and break up fibroids in the uterus. That will penetrate and break up cysts on the ovaries. That will penetrate and soften the colon if the person has constipation. That will penetrate into the colon and heal the colon if the person has bad diarrhea. Remember Psalm 104 verse 14? God gave herbs for the service of man. So whether it's diarrhea, irritable bowel, or whether it's constipation, the castor oil will go in and it will penetrate very, very deep, and it causes a cleansing and a healing in that area. It's a remarkable herb. So you can use it to break up gallstones. So you would put it, say, on the liver area under the right rib. You may put it at the back to break up kidney stones. I've known people that have had bone spurs, say on the knee, and they'll apply the castor oil compresses. We had a lady do our program, she had bone spurs on both knees. And she also had tumours in her abdomen. After doing our program, it's 2 years now, and both 2 tumours have totally gone. Her oncologist can't believe it. So she had a total lifestyle change. And she was doing also the castor oil compresses on the knees for her bone spurs on her knees. She said after, I think it was 6 weeks, they'd gone down by half. She said she forgot to do it, and she noticed a month later they were gone. Now, last night we looked at the acid-alkaline balance, and it's a high-acid diet which causes these deposits of calcium on the bones. So she also changed her diet so that she was not having a high-acid diet anymore. So the castor oil, I've also seen it help people with brain tumours. And what they do is they put it on the area. Remember, it'll penetrate very, very deep, break up lumps, bumps, congestions, adhesions. So if you've got a sore knee and you think, well, do I use the castor oil, do I use the ginger, or do I use the potato? Well, do one night, one another night, and just see what the body says. And your body might like them all. And that's perfectly fine because they're doing slightly different things. So it's very powerful. It'll break up a bone spur, but it will not break up your bone. Why won't it break up the bone? Because remember Psalm 104 verse 14, God gave herbs for the service of man. They work with the needs of your body. So the castor oil can be a very important part of a program on something like, well, anything that I have just suggested. Now that's already soaking in quite well. Can you see that? Now because it's a compress, this can be reused again and again and again. So a person might use it a dozen times. Now if someone's using it for, let's say, a fibroid on the uterus, in the uterus, they might wear it overnight. Or some people say, well, I don't like wearing it overnight. So I say, well, just wear it for at least 5 hours a day, for at least 5 days a week. Little by little by little, it'll penetrate and start breaking up any unnatural growths in the area. One lady said that it felt so comfortable on her lump in her breast, she just wore it 24/7. And that's where you can devote a sports bra to this. Now, every time, let's say someone wears it overnight and they're going to wear it the next night, they might put another little teaspoon in. You'll get to know when it starts to dry a bit. And one person said, well, can't I just rub the castor oil into the area? You'll just get a light layer then. And any clothes you put on it are going to get castor oil on them, and that is no fun to get out of your clothes. But with this compress, it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle to hold the oil. And the thicker the compress, the more oil it can hold, and the more oil is available to go into you. Now, an old bush remedy in Australia is if you get something in your eye, put a drop of castor oil in your eye. And that'll roll around and even take it out. And another recipe, I have not used this, but I have had people testify for glaucoma and cataracts, put 1 drop in each eye before you go to bed at night. That's the only time you do it, because you'll go a bit blurry. But because you're going to sleep, it doesn't matter. One lady said, I'm about to have an op, what'll I do? I said, well, put the drop in each eye and see what happens. And if it's too advanced to basically have a turnaround, maybe you'll have an op. But personally, I think it's worth the try because you just might be able to prevent an op. Eye surgery's come a long way and it's not a difficult operation, but it's nice if it can be prevented. So the castor oil can be used in a variety of areas.
Castor oil is a versatile natural remedy with numerous benefits, especially for skin care. Rich in fatty acids like ricinoleic acid, it deeply moisturizes and softens dry, rough skin. Its anti-inflammatory properties make it useful in treating conditions such as eczema, dermatitis, and acne, promoting skin repair and soothing irritation.
So let me show you how it's made. So you need to have several thicknesses. See, I've got quite a few thicknesses there. And you have a plastic backing. This is what I do. And then you pour the castor oil on. Now, castor oil is very, very thick, as you will see. So I put it on, and the reason I'm putting it on early in our lecture is because that's going to take a little while to soak in. So I cannot hold that up for you. But you might see that it's just sitting on top. And notice that I've just covered about 1/3 of the area. So we're going to let that just sit because it will soak in. By the time we'll have a little bit of a break halfway through our demo this morning, you can come and see. Where would you apply the castor oil? It will break up a bone spur. That's probably the hardest thing it can break up. If the bone spur's been there 3 years, it might take 3 months of application to break up the spur. If the bone spur's been there 3 months, it may take 3 weeks of application to break it up. So it all depends how long it has been there. So just keep applying it little by little. Will the castor oil break up a bone? No, it will not. Also, it can be used for cataracts. 1 drop of castor oil in the eye. Now, guests have told me very difficult to do that. And so here's an easy way to do it. You just put castor oil on your finger and you just wipe it over your eye and your eyelashes, and you blink, and it will penetrate through the eyelid, and it will also come a little bit in through the lashes. A lady got back to me. She said she'd be doing it for 6 months, and she went back to the doctor, and she said the doctor couldn't believe it. My cataracts are actually reducing. That's with the castor oil.
Research shows castor oil has antimicrobial properties that help fight bacterial and fungal infections, forming a protective barrier that aids wound healing. It's also used on the scalp to treat dandruff and infections, nourishing hair follicles and promoting growth. Internally, castor oil acts as a natural laxative by stimulating intestinal contractions, though it should be used cautiously. It's also being studied for its potential to boost immune function, reduce inflammation, and alleviate conditions like arthritis. Additionally, research suggests castor oil may help regulate blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and support liver detoxification. And that's it again for today, guys. I really hope you picked up some great tips from this lecture from Barbara O'Neill. If you found it useful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with anyone else who could use the magic of castor oil. And as always, stay informed, stay healthy.